Ladies and gentlemen, how's it going, Mooncutter fans? Today is Wednesday, June 28th, 2023. And all I can say right now is it's Miller time. No, all joking aside, we are currently sitting at 4 days out from one of the big five WWE not pay-per-views anymore, premium live events. That just sounds so wrong to say, but I'm excited for it. I think it's going to be a good show. And unfortunately, I know it was advertised that Dante would be joining us, but he got stuck over with work. But the show must go on. So that being said, let's bring on from Wrestling Fan Insights, first from Wrestling Fans Incite podcast, Carlos Estrada. How's it going, buddy?
Good. How are you? Thanks for having me.
Oh, as always. Just a heads up, if you look behind Carlos and myself, we figured we'd make it easier on you guys to remember what each of our favorite promotions was. And for me, it's Impact. For Carlos, it's AEW, hence the banners behind us. But I don't know. It's been a few months.
Yeah, just don't judge me because I'm doing a podcast while AEW is on TV right now. It's a scheduling thing.
I mean, don't judge me for, again, scheduling thing. Don't judge me for doing a wrestling podcast while the NHL draft is going on.
Well, there you go.
But I didn't realize the dates coincided when I lined this up with you guys. So, yeah, that being said, let's bring on the second guest tonight, also from Wrestling Fans Incite podcast. And the fact that he's been here Monday, he was here Monday and he's here again. I'm starting to worry if my job's in jeopardy because it seems like he's trying to take over as the new host of Mooncutter Sportscast. Welcome, Brian Ballard, to the screen.
What's going on? It is NWO style in the house, taking over, right? Thanks for having me on again. And right now, is it a handicap match? It's 2-on-1. Dante
exactly.
going to do a run-in or a late last-minute save, or?
I mean, it is Money in the Bank. Who knows if he's going to cash in at some point?
Right. That's our bold prediction of the night.
Is he going to hit you with the briefcase? Or your
Wouldn't be the first time.
I hate to tell you guys. Let me show you something real quick. I don't know if you guys can see it.
No, the virtual background's covering it.
All right. Well, I do have a Money in the Bank briefcase in my possession right now. So.
Oh, nice.
And it just happened to be sitting over to the side.
But yeah, guys, it's been an interesting couple months with the WWE programming leading to this point, because a lot of storylines, a lot of like the entrants that have gotten into the Money in the Bank matches, a lot of them are like wild cards that I would not have expected. And I couldn't be happier. That being said, I know we kind of made a gentleman's bet at Mania when we did the predictions. And I actually spent the past 2 days re-listening to our episode from Mania to do the scorecard to figure out who had the best predictions. And we'll just go over that right now and give kudos where it's due. With a score of 7 correct answers or predictions, coming in fourth place was Dante. Third place with 8 correct predictions, Carlos. And then we actually had a tie for first.
Ooh.
Brian, you and I both had 9 correct predictions on the WrestleMania weekend.
I think
however,
oh yeah, hold on, tiebreaker. I think I had 9 too. I think you got to go rewatch it one more time. Hold on.
Oh, here we go.
All right,
Carlos has been on a Bobby Heenan-like role lately, making his way into wins.
Here, Carlos, I'll go over your list right now.
No, I'm just joking. No,
okay.
let it live in kayfabe. It was let the joke live in kayfabe. Don't ruin my joke. Gosh.
Okay, but as I was saying, you and I both had 9 correct predictions, and I'm gonna be honest, Brian, you were running away with it until the last 2 matches.
I was gonna say night 2 was not as kind as night 1 to me. I know that.
We didn't really do it by night. We just did it in order of personal hype for that one, but you were on a roll until it got to me being the only one that correctly guessed Edge to win the Hell in a Cell match.
Yeah.
And then the 2 main events because you went backwards on both of them.
Yeah, I
That's
remember
with the nine,
one being my bold prediction, and it backfired.
that's where
No
I
Great
cut
Muta either.
on the 9. However, you still get the moral victory here because the tiebreaker, we're going to give you an extra point because you correctly predicted Bobby Lashley for the Andre Battle Royal.
Yes, that's right. Bobby Lashley. And it's amazing how that trophy disappears in April, right?
Who's
once
Bobby
he wins.
Lashley? I haven't seen that. Who's that? I haven't seen him. Who is that?
The Almighty.
Is he on TV? I haven't seen that. I haven't seen anything like that lately on TV.
Yeah. Well, he's guarding the trophy.
Oh, okay.
So cool.
But that being said, since it has been a couple months, do you have a favorite match or wrestling moment that's come up since we did the Mania prediction episode?
Yeah. For me, I mean, it's going to be hard to top the Jimmy Uso moment of triumph, right? When he, protected his brother that protected him many years ago in the Hell in a Cell. And so that to me, I mean, I still get chills thinking about it. And I loved how Jimmy, or Jay, I should say, looked so confused. And it was like, brother taking care of brother. And I just love that moment. And then, eventually he got Jay bought into it. So, I mean, that's been my favorite moment since then.
Carlos?
I'm going to go opposite of Brian. I'm going to go with Backlash just in general with that hot Puerto Rico crowd, Bad Bunny versus Damian, and then Zelina Vega versus, with versus Rhea. Just the whole Money in the Bank, the Backlash thing, that, and that's something that I wish we were getting more main event stars on this card too, because I just think like these PLEs that are in different countries, they're just such an amazing event because the fans are going to be so live and they're going to the fans are really like the MVP of the show, So for me, it was definitely Backlash being in Puerto Rico, seeing Carlito get a big ovation because I've always been a fan of Carlito as well. That was just a really special card. Those fans made that card.
You know what? I'm actually kind of in tune with you, Carlos. For me, the single best moment I've seen in wrestling since Mania was hands down the uproar, the fact that at Backlash in Puerto Rico, the fact that when Zelina Vega made her entrance wearing the Puerto Rican flag, the fact that the roof blew off of that building with how much love she was getting, and the fact that since then it's like it's carried over from Puerto Rico back to the contiguous 48 because she's still getting some of the biggest pops of the night now.
Oh yeah, like I don't cry much when I watch wrestling, but that had me in tears. Like that was just such a beautiful moment, for her, and especially, like when Vince McMahon doesn't see them and only sees these people as managers and stuff like that, and just to see her get her due is a really cool moment.
For sure.
And I agree with you. I think that it's great that WWE is starting to do these international shows and actually all of wrestling, really, it feels like. And it's kind of nice because the product's been a little overexposed for so long. So it's getting those fresh, hot crowds. So yeah, definitely good point.
I will say, as a Latino yourself, did you get a certain amount of glee out of seeing her grab the chancla from the crowd?
Oh heck yeah! I just put that. I put that on Twitter on Monday. I go, I need a chancla on a pool match in my life in WWE.
For those
you can relate, man. When mom grabbed that sandal, you're like running for cover. Oh hell no! Or grandma's even worse.
See, Carlos had to teach me that because he had to smart me up
teach
on
me what a
that
chancla was.
So for those of you at home that don't know what the hell a chancla is and are wondering what the hell we're talking about, that is basically when a Latino child pisses their Latina mother off. She takes her flip-flop, sandal, shoe, whatever the hell she's wearing off and whoops the shit out of them with it.
Exactly.
Or throws it at them. That's the big one too.
Don't run because you'll get it straight to the forehead.
Or the back of the head, depending on which direction.
There's some good gifts that have those displayed on there.
So want to ask, do either of you think there's going to be any more matches added to the card? Because I've got one that I'm predicting.
I know the one you are predicting. I don't think it's going to be added unless I mean it could be. There could be a triple threat match added. I could, we'll see. I mean, yeah, I definitely could see a women's match being added still. but there's already 7 matches, and that's kind of like their maximum for PLE, especially with there being the 2 Money in the Bank matches. So I'm going to say no, because we are getting the match on Friday.
What Carlos was referring to with my prediction, because I kind of went over it with him before we went live. I am predicting that there's going to be either a screwed finish or something occurs on Friday's women's championship match between Charlotte Flair and Asuka, that either the winner goes on, that whoever wins that match, or unless it's interfered in and becomes a triple threat match the next night, that Bianca Belair is going to get inserted and have a women's title challenge on Money in the Bank.
Yeah, I don't think that's uncalled for. I'm going to go the narrative, kind of like what one you guys mentioned earlier. I think Carlos just did, was WWE is not AEW in the sense where they don't like to load up the card, right? And I think they want to give time to all the performers there, and I really think one of the Money in the Bank ladder matches will take up some time, and I think the Bloodline storyline will take up some as well.
All right, then are we ready to dive right into this with the match storyline coverage, predictions, and all that?
Yep.
Yeah, let's get in.
All right, so unfortunately, I got to do 3 different segments to click to get these transitions. But the first match we're going to talk about, because it has the least hype, and honestly, I'm least excited for this one in general. But the Unified Women's Tag Championship match, Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler defending against the champions that never lost the belts, Raquel Rodriguez and Liv Morgan. Now, Liv Morgan is coming back.
Sorry, I fell asleep while you were talking about that. My bad. Let me wake up again.
Now, I will say Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez never did lose the belts. They were forced to vacate when Liv went down about a month and a half ago with an injury. They apparently thought it was worse than it was, and she made her return last Friday after Shayna and Ronda defeated Alba Fire and Isla Dawn to unify the women's tag titles and the NXT women's tag titles. That being said, am I the only one that's extremely pissed that they call Alba Fire and Isla Dawn up and immediately have them lose the belts when they've been the most dominant tag team in NXT for how long?
Yeah, I was a little surprised at their call up. And to me, she's going to be Kaylee Ray, right? But I always felt like she was the more developed, but I thought it was kind of surprised that they threw them up in the roster without a plan. And that's always kind of one of my pet peeves and critiques is, what's the plan?
I'm not mad about it, because I think I've been wanting to see Alba Fire get called up for a long time. So if it took Isla Dawn to get her called up, I'm okay with that. And the thing is, for me, I've had to change my heart with the women's tag titles, because for me, I'm upset about this match because I just think I'd rather see Raquel and Liv in the women's title picture, because I feel like I don't like Rhea just being like Dominic's manager. I feel like Rhea deserves to be in some proper feuds right now. And so I would like to see Raquel and Liv, in the, like, I'd rather see Rhea defending the title at the card, like you're saying, and having like all Judgment Day be on the card. Because if you already have 3 out of the 4, why not have all four of the 4? So I just rather see those women in the main title picture. But at the same time, I am glad to see that Ronda, with her being willing to go over to the women's tag division, I'm glad that it's actually getting some shine on it, and I'm glad that they're actually getting a match on the PLE. So I'm going to focus on the positives more than the negatives with that.
All right, so where's my phone at? Because I'm just going to randomly determine who the first victim is, and then we'll assign like we did last time from there. So to cover predictions on this one, I don't know if y'all can shit. My phone's disappeared. All right, apparently Bryan got selected.
You got the
all
randomizer
right
in your phone?
Yes, I do.
That's all right. That's my title, I guess. So I get to go first. So
What's
here's
on
what
second?
we got. For this one, my prediction straight up is, yeah. So my prediction is going to be that Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler are going to retain these titles. I think they're just going to define themselves as a definitive champion. And then the main reason I feel like that is because I feel like they want Ronda Rousey to carry that title into SummerSlam at their second biggest PLE of the year, excuse me. And so ultimately, I feel like that's just too big of a name still, as far as among the casual fans, to not have featured on that SummerSlam show.
Oh, wait, clockwise, that would be me next. See, I'm going to go by overall popularity and who the biggest stars in the company are in WWE are, let alone what they've done outside, because I've noticed, because with Hunter being the one in charge of creative, he's definitely focusing more on who the fans pop for. That said, the ovation Liv got when she returned Friday, and the fact that she never lost that they never lost the belts to begin with, I see this being Liv and Raquel getting the belts back.
Oh, I think for me is I don't see that happening. I don't think Ronda and Shayna are losing those titles for a while. Like I said before, I think that hopefully Raquel and Liv lose, and then hopefully they're moving on to fight Ronda. I mean, to go after Rhea and be more in the women's title picture or the women's world title picture than being in the tag division.
Okay. Solid. I wasn't even thinking about giving Liv another main event push, but
Rhea needs challengers. She doesn't really have any right now. She's fighting with Natalya because and they're going to need people to fill in until Becky, and I'm sure her and Becky are the plans for Mania. But that's still months away. So she needs challengers going into that.
Oh, that's going to be Vicky Guerrero versus Rhea, right?
I thought Brandy Rhodes. Didn't you say Brandy Rhodes coming back?
You spoiling my prediction?
Is he gonna keep the same one?
Similar scenario.
Okay, sounds good.
You know what? But now that you've mentioned that, looking at challenges for Rhea, given how tall and how muscularly jacked she is, it makes sense, because honestly, Raquel is probably one of the few credible threats to Rhea.
Well, I just hope that Rhea challenges her to a back off competition, and shows her what a better back she has, and then we see Raquel quit doing her freaking back poses, because she looks so dumb when she does it. 'Cause I'm like, Rhea has twice the back that you do. Knock it off.
I don't know, man. I love when Raquel does that.
So
go ahead.
Oh, we're all three going with Team UFC, right?
No, he went live and.
Are you still going there? Okay, I thought maybe you changed it up.
No, once I said it, it's locked in.
All right.
So we'll move on to the second match, which is going to be for the Intercontinental Championship match, Gunther versus Riddle. You went last, Brian. So who's the next victim?
I tell you what, let's go to my tag team partner up there, Carlos.
So I'm definitely going to go with Gunther in this match. Like, I can't stand Matt Riddle, and I think it's just because, like for me, like I'm somebody that's in recovery, and so for me, like him just like coming back and not even issuing an apology and dating porn stars and being all crazy, I don't know. I've really fallen out of my liking with Riddle, so I want to see Gunther kick his ass. If I'm being honest, and I don't know, and I think the way they brought Riddle back, he just was losing match after match to like Solo for like 3 weeks in a row or 2 weeks in a row. I'm just not invested in him very much, and again, I don't see. To me, like when they did the Money in the Bank qualifier matches, they should have had Damian Priest beat somebody else than Riddle if you're going to put Riddle in an Intercontinental title match. Because to me, it doesn't make sense that somebody who lost a qualifier match gets an Intercontinental title match. It just doesn't make any kind of sense to me. So it's just one of those things where the booking doesn't make sense to me, and so I'm not, and that's why I'm really not into this match. And I just hope Gunther whoops his ass.
So for me, all right. So I'm sure he's a nice guy, but I'm not a big Riddle guy either, which is weird, right? Because I am a UFC guy. And so, naturally I do gravitate towards those guys, but the original bro thing just doesn't draw me in, right? With that being said, too, the WWE severely with this new merger and the selling of the company, they want to update their record books.
Yep.
And they don't want an Elvis impersonator to be the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion. Even though as great as he was, they want to update their record books. They want things in the modern era. And they want fighting type looking guys like Gunther that could get on board with that Endeavor, UFC, WWE look as one of their featured champions. And so I do pick Gunther, and I really believe Gunther will break the Honky Tonk Man's Intercontinental record.
I second that too. I think he's definitely going to break that record as well.
All right. I guess it's on me. I guess I'm the only one here that actually does like Matt Riddle, which is off kilter for me because I'm generally not 420 friendly, and that's like half his gimmick. But looking at the fact that he does have the MMA background and whatnot, and the sort of unorthodox skill set in the ring, I would love to say Matt Riddle beats him for the belt, because I also am looking forward to seeing Ludwig Kaiser branch off on his own away from Imperium. And if you want to go back even further than that, Ringkampf from Ring of Honor. Like, Ludwig Kaiser has been kind of under Walter Gunther's wing for almost a decade. I want to see
they were together in Ring of Honor.
Yeah, Ringkampf.
Oh wow! I didn't know
good
that.
knowledge.
But so I do eventually want to see Ludwig or Marcel Barthel, whatever you want to call him, branch out on his own. But you hit the nail on the head, Brian. Gunther's not losing the belt until after he surpasses Honky.
Yeah.
So Gunther.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
mean, it's been a great run, right?
All right, let's move on. Cody versus Dom Dom, or ex-Condom, or let's just say it straight: Ray should have wore a condom.
Oh, how dare you! How dare you! He's Eddie's son, and he's Eddie's son anyway. So get it right.
Okay, then Eddie should have wore a condom.
How dare
But
you!
either way,
You're just jealous because he has Rhea Ripley. God, the jealousy is ripping through your veins.
I mean, that might be part of it. I don't know. But anyways, all right. Who goes first here, Carlos? Since you got the first one left.
You go first this time.
All right. So this is where you might start thinking I've got the. No, this isn't one. There's another match that you're going to think I pulled the tinfoil hat back out on, but it's actually not this one. I'm going to be straight to the point. Cody wins by disqualification because the Beast is going to show up and whoop his ass again.
Go ahead, Brian.
Oh, okay. I thought we were going counter.
Oh, I'll go. Yeah, I'll go. Yeah, we are going
Okay.
clockwise.
Okay.
So first of all, I'm Team Dominic Mysterio. So I call him he's my Latino tribal chief. That's what I refer to him by. But even with that said, I think Cody Rhodes is going to win. I think Cody Rhodes is going to win this match. I don't know why. I don't see Brock Lesnar coming out to this one. I don't know why. To me, if I'm a fan in England and they're going to have Brock Lesnar there, I'm going to be pissed if he just comes out for a crowd, because I'm like, why didn't I get to see him in a match? So I don't know. I just feel with his limited appearances, I don't see him coming all the way to England just to do a run in, but maybe he is. I know that's what everyone else thinks, but I just think Cody beats Dominic cleanly. And the reason why I think this too is because I don't trust WWE's creative right now with Dominic. Like, I don't think he's going to because to me, this is what I want. If Dominic was to beat Cody Rhodes, I want to see Dominic go after the Intercontinental title, and I know that's not going to happen. So I just hope Cody Rhodes wins the match, and it continues his storyline, because I don't really see a storyline coming for Dominic with beating Cody Rhodes. That's where I stand with this.
All right. So I'm a little worried about Geoffrey's tinfoil hat, because he's usually right with those tinfoil hat predictions.
Exactly.
So
Perfect. Fabulous.
Don't worry. This wasn't even the tinfoil hat one.
Oh,
That's
no,
going to come in a later match.
I'm ready for it. I'm like, oh, what's it going to be? And then I almost missed Carlos's pick because I was laughing at the tribal chief. What was it again?
Latino tribal chief.
Latino tribal chief. I think I was having a Uzi moment where I couldn't, stay in character here. For me, it is my pick. That is Cody Rhodes. I think what you guys said makes too much sense. And this is the match that gets you to the match. I think they would have went straight with Brock Lesnar again, part 3, if it wasn't for this pesky little PLE in the middle of it. So yeah, Cody's my pick on this one.
All right. So we're at a half hour. I hate to say it, but I do either of you guys need to take a water break real quick? Because I sort of do.
Well, if you need to, we can take a little break. That's fine.
All right. So brief intermission and we'll get right back into it.
All right.
Are we back stage or are we on?
I don't know. Oh yeah, we're on a break. Okay. The elite are fighting the Dark Order. I don't know how I feel about this.
Is that? Yeah, I don't even have it on.
Yeah, I'm watching. I have it on silent. Yeah, the elite. So it's Hangman and the Young Bucks versus the Dark Order right now. Like, it makes me sad.
Sometime you and I'll have to talk about it. Like the Dark Order thing was so disappointing to me because it could have been so good, and it just never took fire the way I wanted it to, and the way I predicted it.
Oh, I agree with you. To me, it was like are we still live? I kind of it looks like it's awesome.
Yeah.
No, to me, I'm the same. Go ahead.
Well, no, I was going to say, I'm wondering if we are live and if we maybe should or shouldn't talk about AEW, but oh well. He can edit it, right?
Oh well, if you're it is what it is. No, I'm like you. I think they could have been they should have they could have been so much better than just being jobbers, and especially for as much time as they had when they were first building AEW, and they were so much storyline, to just see how they're being utilized now makes me really sad.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I didn't realize you guys were going to go off on a side conversation. I wouldn't have left the music on.
Oh, no worries. I didn't know if you were editing that piece out or not, so we were trying to.
I mean, depends on if anything was said that actually needs edited.
It was just AEW stuff.
Fine. Fine. It's still wrestling talk. We'll leave it. But now, were we finished with the predictions for Cody versus Condom?
The one thing I want to say about this, was the thing that I do like about this though is especially, as somebody who thought that Cody Rhodes should have beat Roman at WrestleMania. I got to give WWE kudos because putting these two in a match together and then along with the Bloodline storyline has totally put that on ice for me. I'm okay if Cody doesn't win till WrestleMania 40, or even if Cody, I'm okay with the story being different right now because of the fact that we're getting Dominic and Cody, because it is the biggest heel right now. And I do want to, and again, even though I'm a fan of Dominic, as I don't mind seeing a heel get his ass kicked, and again, what's going on with Roman. So again, kudos to WWE for pivoting in the right kind of storyline to kind of take your mind off what should have happened to WrestleMania 39.
Okay. All right. Now, the next match we're going to discuss is where I bring the, as you were calling it with my Jey Uso predictions back at Royal Rumble. This is the match that I'm bringing back the tinfoil hat for. But the World Heavyweight Championship match, Seth freaking Rollins defending against Finn Balor. I went first on the last time, and I want to I just want to let the build go before I give my big conspiracy theory prediction here. So, Carlos, you start us off.
So, again, I'm really happy with the work that Finn's been doing. Those last couple weeks, we have a good friend of ours, Eric, in our chat. Him and I are just talking because he's I love this version of Finn Balor, and I'm glad that we're seeing kind of this more edgier version of Finn, a more diabolical version. And again, it's just they've been doing a good job of bringing up the past history between these two guys about fighting over the Universal title, 7 years ago or whatever. And I am looking forward to this match, but I think it's too early to take the title off of Seth. He just got this reign, and and again, talking about Money in the Bank predictions earlier, that's part of one of my predictions for Money in the Bank, why they're going to choose who they choose. But I just don't think it's time yet. I think for me, Seth Rollins keeps the title. I maybe see a heel Drew McIntyre returning to attack him after the match, possibly. And so that's why, again, I don't see Brock. I think Drew would get a bigger pop coming back than a Brock would. You can't have too many interferences in matches or too many surprises. So I look for Seth to win this match, and then for a heel Drew McIntyre to come back and attack him after the match.
Okay, so Carlos kind of has his own tinfoil hat theory with this one. Oh, by the way, I'm surprised neither one of you have called me on the typo yet.
Oh, freaking nah.
Seth freaking Rollins.
Freaking Rollins. I just thought it was Midwest education, if I'm being honest.
I just figured it was maybe an
wow. Shots. Gee, thanks, Carlos. Dick.
For mine, I am also going to pick Seth freaking Rollins. And for that reason, my pick is more about the title than it is Seth. The title's still too new and introduced, and I want Seth to have a very long reign with this thing to build credibility with the title. They did the right thing putting the title on him as an established main eventer. Now he just has to kind of keep it. And if he does lose it, it has to be in something epic and not just kind of a mid-card match title defense. So, and yes, I do like the Drew McIntyre idea. I floated the idea out there of kind of adding on to what Carlos said earlier in the week about maybe it's a best of 7 series between them for the title that really just builds it up. Cause I think those guys could give us 7 fun matches eventually, So that's my prediction is the title. I'm picking the title, but to stay on Seth.
Okay. So I know this is what you've been waiting for when I mentioned I had another tinfoil hat theory.
Hulk Hogan.
But what about Hulk Hogan?
I was doing the Hulk Hogan ear thing for you.
Oh, now I'm going to, but I'm going to say who I see getting the pinfall in this match first. They haven't said anything about it being the Demon King, right?
Correct. That would be interesting.
So we can imagine it's going to be regular Street Finn. That said, I'm going to predict Seth to win the match. However, my prediction for this is going to be twofold for the conspiracy theory end. One, WWE has a big problem right now that ties to Seth Rollins. His entrance, the fact that the fans will not shut the fuck up, needs to be addressed, needs to be rectified. Because I'm sorry, when you're trying to do a promo to build for a pay-per-view main event quality match, and the fans are freaking overdrawing the promo itself, that's a huge problem. That makes for terrible TV. That compounded with the fact that they are tying back to what happened 7 years ago. Finn wins the match, wins the first ever Universal Champion, ends up getting put on the shelf because of an injury. That one was worked, or that one was shoot. I can see this being worked. That said, I can see Seth getting the win, but having a worked injury where he has to vacate the title and step away for a while to reset his character, reset his gimmick, come back with new music that the fans can't do that stupid shit to, and then push him as your main star down the line.
So you're saying that Finn...
I know, I lost track of your tinfoil hat.
Wait, he'll win the title?
No.
And then go out with an injury, so it's going to be a tournament again?
Something like that I can see, yes.
Okay.
But the fans with Seth and that stupid fucking whoa bullshit is a huge problem for WWE right now for their television product. That needs to be addressed.
It's like it's the best thing they have going besides. I disagree. I think they love the fans' interaction right now. I don't see it being a problem at all. I think Seth got himself over after being ruined with the Fiend gimmick when he was WWE champion. our Universal Champion. I think he's finally built his character back up after being given a lot of shitty gimmicks. And I have to think they're more than I think they're happy with what's going on right now. It's an organic thing, just like the Cody. Whoa, it's like they got the two. I think their big problem is having Cody and Seth on the same brand. To be honest,
with Cody, with them doing the whoa when his entrance comes out is one thing, but the fact that when Seth is in the ring, when they're trying to do promos to build for a main event program, and the fans hijack it because they don't know when to shut the fuck up, that is a problem, and that is something that definitely has got to be driving the producers insane.
I kind of compare it to the Chris Jericho and the fan interaction with his theme song, and I know. That's almost where I look to Seth to kind of rise up as the professional, and you kind of control the crowd a little. And Jericho, I mean, he's really good at getting them to shut up. Of course, I know the song ends, right? But so I would actually almost challenge Seth to come up with ways to say, hey, is there a way you can get them or sway them or say something to throw them off character from their singing, And I mean, easier said than done, right? We're three guys talking on a podcast, but the end of the day, I would be interested to see what they would come up to counter that. So,
I mean, even going back to the Seth versus Finn promo when Finn made the challenge for Money in the Bank, if you listen, Seth did try to shut it down, and it worked momentarily, but they started right back up with it, which is why I'm saying I think Seth's character and the WWE overall product would benefit from Seth stepping away for a bit, coming back with a repackage. At least a new theme, something completely different from what they've had him on.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind seeing him revamp his character a little. Picking clothes out of Becky's closet is not a good look ever, right? But, I mean, we got to get away from that.
He's got double his wardrobe, dude. Be nice.
Yeah.
They both got double their wardrobe.
Because I am over some of it. Don't get me wrong. I look to see what he's going to wear next, but the big Mario boots and the everything else.
That was atrocious.
I was like, what is he doing? But ultimately, I don't want to take the title off the TV either because of how new it is. I mean, so how long are we talking, you think, for injury wise?
Probably at least the 60 day or whatever it is, at least the 30 days.
Okay.
Have him ruled out for at least 6 weeks. That way he can't defend it within 30 days and have them with him being a fighting champion saying this title will be defended regularly. Have them enforce the 30 day and rule with this belt.
And then make them come out. Yeah. I was just hoping we weren't going the route of like, come back at the Royal Rumble, because I don't think the title can.
But they can't enforce the 30-day on him and not enforce it on Roman, though. So I don't see where that lines up storyline-wise.
Oh, it's in Roman's contract. Paul Heyman's a good negotiator.
Oh, okay.
That and the fact that with this belt, Seth has already built the thing about this belt will be defended. This belt will be a fighting championship.
Yeah.
Which opened the door.
Hold on. Let me get my WWE amnesia back. Okay, hold on. Let me get my WWE amnesia going. Okay, forget the past weeks. It's a whole new week. Okay, we're good. All
and
right,
remember, Bubba Ray doesn't have a stutter, so forget that.
Yeah,
too.
right. It's like the amnesia's kicking in. The telenovela is kicking. The WWE telenovela mode's kicking in right now.
The what?
WWE telenovela, how the people on telenovelas they get amnesia and get all dramatic. The WWE telenovela. I got to get my WWE amnesia because they're gonna just do whatever they want. Act like I don't watch the product every week. Oh yeah, that's what happened. Sure, okay, we're gonna go with this.
Is this another sandal smacking thing?
Yeah, no, just the telenovela is like the over dramatic acting. Spanish soap opera.
Yeah.
Or soap opera in general, because
I think if you look at my background AEW, I think honestly that WWE can't be. I think they're to the moon with Cody and with Seth, honestly, because even with Dominic, because they don't get that crowd reaction sometimes, and sometimes their crowd is like dead. So I think they're very happy with what's going on. That's my personal opinion. I think they're over the moon with it because it's given them something that AEW's had with that crowd interaction, the crowd liking the music. That's organically getting over. I don't think they're gonna try to stop that. I don't see it. I don't see a repackaging happening with Seth. Okay. I think he'd walk out if that happened.
We shall find out. Anyways, we've got 3 more matches to discuss, and unfortunately, 2 of them are going to be big ones that are going to probably be in depth. So let's move on to the women's Money in the Bank match. Who went first on that one? Carlos, right?
Yep.
Wrong banner. So yeah, Carlos, pick the next victim.
Are we doing women's or men's?
Oh shit.
You got the men's Briner up.
Well, I got the men's background. Yeah, my bad. Wait, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Oh, wrong background. There we go. But the women's Money in the Bank
And now
match,
you got the wrong. Now you got the
Bayley.
wrong header. There you go. I'll pick the
Women's
hype to
Money
go
in the Bank
first.
Okay.
All right. So for this one, there's going to be a backstage last minute injury to Zelina Vega, and taking her place will be Brandy Rhodes, and she will show her man Cody how to get a win and win the Money in the Bank women's match and become the new women's champion. Brandy heals Rhodes. Okay, so let's get serious now.
Put that in your tinfoil hat and smoke that, Geoffrey.
Okay, so that wasn't legit. That was not your legit.
No, that's not legit. I was trying to work Brandy Rhodes into another way of getting the title. And I had her beating Rhea Ripley, by the way, and cashing in that night. So
okay. Legit. You fucking Carlos, you called it because I was about to say, man, and I thought I had the tinfoil hat on with my freaking prediction for the second match.
Hey, Carlos said he wanted the hype and not Bryan to make this pick, so I went hype mode. In all seriousness, though, my pick for this one that I really want to happen is Io Sky. And, I go back and forth because I do think that Trish Stratus could win this as well. It's hard for me to, for the record, not pick Trish Stratus because, again, SummerSlam, WWE likes their marketing machine. They like the more popular name of Trish Stratus. But I am going to say that maybe Triple H gets some say here in this one. And I'm going to say it's Io Sky, and then Io Sky will be able to get a title shot possibly and hopefully against Asuka at SummerSlam.
Okay. So I was about to really be like rolling because of your Brandy Rhodes prediction with the Zelina Vega getting beat down, because I'm going to say, I think you're onto something with Io Shirai. Sorry, I refuse to call her Io Sky.
Yeah.
Io Sky now.
I don't care. I'm still going to call her Io Shirai. But anyways, I think you're onto something with that. And if I'm being honest, she is my number 2 pick. And my thing is with this match, the problem is most of the competitors and their storylines would benefit more from not winning the match. Think about the feud with Becky and Zoe Stark / Trish Stratus. That feud would be better carried on if Becky was able to cost Trish and Zoe the championship, because you can't really think that Becky's going to have the best shot of winning it when she's going to be getting double teamed the whole match. Moving on to the other so that takes care of 3 competitors. Moving on to the other line, I think we're going to see some dissension in this match with spot of Bayley and Io both going for the briefcase at the same time, and is going to lead to them fighting amongst each other during the match. Probably this being where Io breaks away from Damage Control. And that storyline would be better carried on if neither one of them won the match. That being said, the one person who has, especially since Backlash, emerged as America's sweetheart and has been on a high streak of momentum, also adding in the fact that WWE is trying to push the LWO again and make a big deal over it with Ray, and keep mentioning during her matches that Zelina Vega is mentored by Rey Mysterio, and honestly, she's the most popular member of the LWO. I can see Zelina Vega winning the Money in the Bank briefcase. So I'm picking Zelina.
God.
You both got my heads like spinning in different directions now. So this match does scare me because, especially with Vince McMahon being more creative now, because I see Triple H wanting Io Sky to win. I can see Vince wanting like a Trish Stratus or even like a Becky Lynch to win the Money in the Bank briefcase. I don't see Becky winning, and I don't see Zoe Starks winning the briefcase. The other 4, I think you could make a case for. But I'm still going to go with Triple H getting his way, and I'm going to say that Io Sky wins this one. I just think with Asuka being champion, hopefully Asuka retains the title this Friday. That's another thing. But I just don't. I think they're going to go with Charlotte and Bianca in a feud without the title for now. So I think maybe that we see Io challenging Asuka for the title, and then maybe we get Becky we get Bayley trying to get the briefcase off of her. But I definitely think Io Sky is going to win this match. But I could definitely see Zelina Vega, and I wouldn't be mad if she won it either.
What I like about this match is it's given us all, we can all like picture different ways that one of these ladies could win. And I like that because to me, that makes it more interesting. And, I'm glad we get to come on shows like this and do that, because if I wouldn't have had these discussions, I would just be like point blank looking at 1 or 2 people. So thank you guys.
Yeah,
all right.
For sure.
I mean, I could, like I said,
and I want to be mad at you because I feel like go ahead.
You feel like what? No, go ahead. Finish.
No, go ahead. You go first. What were you going to say?
I was going to say,
I just like you saying, go ahead.
All I was saying was I can definitely see where you guys are coming from with Io. Like I said, when I first started my spiel on that, to go full circle with it, with Bryan, is that Io would be my number 2 pick. Now your turn, Bryan or Carlos.
No, I would just to me, I feel like the LWO is being used, but I feel like they're being utilized as jobbers, and so I wouldn't mind seeing her get the briefcase, because I do like the LWO, and especially if Carlito's coming back, there's rumors that he's been signed and he's going to be on SmackDown, so I think he's supposed to be part of the LWO too. So I wouldn't mind seeing her win. So either one of those would make me perfectly happy.
Quick fun fact, and we don't have to linger on it, but I just had this idea of Dominic Mysterio taking over the LWO, kicking his dad out, and finding a new girlfriend in Zelina. Just food for thought.
Only if it ends with Tommy End coming back and fucking him up for flirting with his wife.
I wouldn't mind seeing him with Bayley either. She could be like another mommy.
Oh, jeez.
And she's Latina.
Yeah. Yes. Honestly, I feel like getting him away from Rhea and packaging Dom with Bayley would actually be a never even thought of it, but goddamn, have Damage Control break away from her and have that happen, and then have this feud with the jealous girlfriends, Rhea versus Bayley feud. Oh my God, I love that idea.
It's unique, and that's something I wouldn't have thought of, but yeah, I mean, I think eventually that relationship gets ruined. Oh
yeah, and I think Bayley would add a more comedic side to it too with Dominic. It would just be a whole different dynamic than Rhea, but she would still be Mamacita, I
was gonna say, is this going to be an Eddie Guerrero?
She could be Mamacita. She could be Mamacita this time instead of Mommy.
Whatever works. All right, so I had originally pegged the men's Money in the Bank match last, but you guys brought up a good point that we're probably thinking the Bloodline Civil War will be the last match of the night or the main event. So we're going to move on to the men's Money in the Bank match, which has been expanded to 7 competitors with the addition of Logan Paul on, what was it, last week's Monday night or 2 weeks ago, Monday Night Raw.
Yep.
That being said, the current field is Ricochet versus Santos Escobar of the LWO versus LA Knight versus Shinsuke Nakamura versus Butch versus Damian Priest versus Logan Paul, who, like I said, was the last edition after last Monday Night Raw. The only one who did not have to win a qualifying match to get into this match. That being said, who went first last round?
I believe
Bryan.
it was Carlos. Oh, was it?
It was Bryan.
I
Okay.
picked you for go first.
Oh, that's
Okay.
right. Right.
Either way, before we get into that, I can just say I think we could all wish that Butch wins this match just to cash in to get his name back.
That's all
Because
he wants.
I like the name. I like him as Butch. I think he acts like a little Chihuahua as Butch. And I don't know. I just like him as Butch. I think he's done a great job with it. I like him as Butch.
You know what
no
I call
name
him?
back for him. Sorry.
You know what I call him? He's Scrappy Doo. Let me at him, Scoot.
Exactly.
Let me at him.
Yeah, like Scrappy. Yeah, exactly. Like Scrappy. That's a better analogy. Scrappy Doo. Yep.
Oh, what was the other one? The other one, like, no offense to any of these men, but you know what I've heard the Brawling Brutes referred to as, right?
No.
Bitch, Butch, and Botch.
Oh.
Aye.
I'll let you figure out who the bitch and Botch are.
Botch is Rich Holland for what he did to Big E, and people need to let him go. Let that go already.
Hey, I'm not the one that freaking said that. I've just heard it said a few times.
In your house?
No, it was actually on a Facebook group that when I read that, I'm like, wait, bitch, Butch, and Botch. Oh my, I was cracking up. Not going to lie, I was dying, but it was not my idea. Anyways, Bryan, who's your first victim? Who's the victim for this one to start?
Yeah, so my pick's going to be Logan Paul.
Oh, you're going first again. Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I thought you
said you already let it out of the bag. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I thought I misinterpreted that. But okay, so yeah, it is Logan Paul. I will make it quick. I think the WWE cannot resist the idea of putting a briefcase on him. And I do believe that it does bring a unique situation up where that briefcase could be more off TV and more on the internet and on YouTube. And they could still show it through his streaming and all of his craziness, which maybe allows them to feature the briefcase of the women's side more prominently on TV. So, but it's too easy to cash in, so to speak, with Logan Paul monetizing this briefcase.
Okay, I have a feeling I'm not the only one picking. I'm the only one that's going a different direction here. But I feel Logan Paul getting added to this match was more of a red herring. And as much as I want to say the guy that stands out that is everyone's favorite to win this match, you know, I'm not going to do my Wade Barrett impression this month. But I know as much as I'd love to see it with the fact that he's the most entertaining person. And honestly, with his mic skills, the charisma, and how organically over he's getting, even as a heel, I think if WWE would take this mindset, strap the rocket to him, and give him a push, they could have the next Rock or Austin level superstar in their hands with LA Knight. I don't think he wins it.
I thought you were going to go a different direction there. Okay.
That said, look, again, I was looking at the women's Money in the Bank match and said the only one whose storyline wouldn't be bettered by losing the match. On the other hand here, I'm going to look which one of these superstars is in a storyline that would benefit from winning the briefcase. That said, I'm going Damian Priest. To break up or to get, because to branch him away from Judgment Day and establish him as the single star. The fact that they've already shown some dissension with him and Finn, including this past Friday with that little moment backstage of, hey, Damian, if I win the belt sorry, I'm not going to freaking do the Finn Balor accent, but if you think about it, Finn did stop Damian backstage and be like, hey, if we both win on Saturday, you're not going to cash in on me, are you? He's like, yeah, you know I would. So I think that's going to lead to some dissension between Damian and Finn, with Damian winning the belt.
Yeah, I don't hate the idea of Damian with it either. I think he's a solid candidate.
And honestly, I wasn't thinking about that when we discussed it. But it's too late because I already wrote it down and locked it in. But I almost want to change my answer for the Seth Finn match. I think Finn wins it, but I already said Seth, so. Carlos.
I brought my props to me today, so here's my bottle of Prime. And so, like what Bryan was talking about is kind of a conversation that him and I were having about this match about a couple weeks ago. And I don't think on our podcast, I don't think they brought Logan Paul into this match if he was not going to win this match. And I think with Logan, and I picked Logan Paul to have the briefcase. I feel with Logan Paul having the briefcase and having somebody with the briefcase that's not going to be at TV every week. I just think it kind of alleviates having a champion on SmackDown who's not there every week. So I think it kind of kills that bird with that. And I think it gives Seth more time to kind of build this championship and to make it something special instead of having to worry so much about getting cashed in on right away. And I do think it, like you guys previously stated, I think it also maybe gives them a chance to put some shine on the women's briefcase for once and let whoever wins women's Money in the Bank go around carrying the briefcase instead of the men's. Kind of just gives them a chance to flip that role a little bit. And again, I don't think Vince McMahon, with him being back and kind of more creative, I don't see Vince not letting Logan Paul win this match. I think Vince would like to see Logan on the number one podcast in the world with the Money in the Bank briefcase, having him at UFC or fighting with his brother, having him doing different things. I see Logan carrying the briefcase for a little bit and him playing social media. Like they'll have him, doing this, maybe probably have him social media on a Monday. Is Logan Paul in town tonight? Who knows? He'll have himself on airplanes carrying the Money in the Bank briefcase. I definitely see Logan's going to win this match. I think LA Knight is going to go into a program with Theory over the US title. I just don't think it's his time to be in the main event. I love LA Knight too, but I think his age is going to hold him back from being pushed as a main event star. I think if he gets it, like he might be in the main event picture for a little bit, but he'll just be used as a transitional guy because he is in his 40s, and it is it's unfortunate they didn't see the potential in him earlier. But again, I love LA Knight. I wouldn't be mad. I definitely think it's going to be either one. I definitely think it's going to be either LA Knight, Damian Priest, or Logan Paul. But I definitely think this is Logan Paul's match to win. I don't think they wouldn't be bringing him back. They wouldn't be using one of his 4 matches on this. He's going to win this match, hands down.
Okay, can I point out LA Knight is 40 years old? Correct. You are correct on that.
Yes.
Can I point out that Damian Priest is 40 years old?
Exactly.
And
but at the same time, but here's the difference though. Go ahead.
That, and I also want to point out Shinsuke Nakamura is 43.
And has Shinsuke been given the world title?
No, because they fucked him over after he won the Rumble in 18.
But we all know that's what Vince McMahon thinks. I mean, Lashley's been the exception to where somebody who's been older who's been given the world title, but for the most part, like they don't. And again, and with Damian Priest, he would even with Lashley, those guys would get more of a reprieve on the age thing because they've been built up in the WWE system longer than LA Knight has. Where he came in later to the thing, they might be hesitant to work on him again. If you listen to LA Knight's comments on the Chris Van Vliet podcast yesterday, he was close to getting fired last year because of the whole age thing. That's why Vince didn't even want to put him in the ring. That's why he had him as a manager with Max Male Models because Vince didn't like the fact of his age. And if Vince is still around, that could be hindering him on winning this match. And
I was looking up the ages of all the competitors. We know that Pete Dunne's are in his mid-20s. Ricochet is like 36, I believe it said.
I think. 36.
And surprisingly, Santos Escobar is 39. So,
wow. And I felt bad, honestly, because I think we want what we don't get, but then when we get what we want something different. And so for me, like with this PLE being overseas and it being in London, I kind of wish there was more main eventers in this match than the up and comers. Like I wish they would wait another year because I think with it being an overseas PLE, I wish we were getting more of the main event talent, like the Lashleys, like those guys, like an Edge, for example. I wish we were getting more of those guys on this card than the mid carders. So again, I know I sound like a hypocrite. Go ahead.
Something that I did not, that just freaking came to me, that actually makes me freaking wonder. WWE with their premium live events lately. You notice a streak of like they always really want to give the hometown guy their moment. Are we forgetting where the hell Pete Dunne is from?
The idea
But
crossed
give
my
hometown
mind.
guy the moment. Drew McIntyre didn't get his moment at Clash in the Castle, so I know what you're talking about.
I mean, I
Ali
get what you're
lost to
going
Gunther.
for, but I don't know
No,
if
Pete Dunne's
like,
not winning this
he's
match.
up on the ladder, so to speak, and viewed as that hierarchy.
Oh no, I don't see him. I don't see him winning the match, but I think he will have the breakout moment during this.
I think he could definitely, have a showcase there. I do think though, I kind of like that it's the B plus players right now in this matchup. I know it's one of those, like, Carlos said, it's kind of like when we get what we want. But I do like the fact that, this is meant to be kind of the next in line title, right? I now have a chance at the world title that I might not have gotten. And I kind of like that it's guys that wouldn't normally have gotten it. I mean, yes, Logan Paul did have a nice showcase moment in his title, title attempt against Roman, but that planted a seed in our heads that Logan Paul is semi-main event level. That kind of planted this deep seed in us. So I do think I like that all these guys are kind of these B plus up and comers.
Now, the other thing I want to mention about this is, like, also it could be anybody in this match because it's not somebody because now we don't have to think it's somebody that they're looking to elevate to the main card. Because think about it, after last year with Theory, the rule was made this year with the Money in the Bank briefcase that it can be used for any singles title, including the United States and Intercontinental.
Yeah, and honestly, we don't have Otis and Damian Sandow in this thing, so I mean, we've come a long way. So, I still was weird about the Otis, Money in the Bank win, and to me, I think this should be like Intercontinental title level guys that are meant to be the next step up. So,
well, I mean, if it weren't for the fact that they did the whole losing it to Miz to pull shit with Otis, if they would have followed through with the original plan, I would not have had a problem with it. You do know what the original plan with Otis winning that briefcase was?
No, I mean, I know Vince liked him a lot because he made him laugh, but so did Ron Truth Killings. Yeah.
No, the original plan with Otis winning the briefcase was for Heavy Machinery to use them to use it to cash in on the tag belts.
Yeah, and I'm not hating that idea because I do like the idea of it being used on different titles sometimes. I wouldn't hate that at all. I just, right now I guess we have used it as a world title step up. But yeah, I mean, get some other titles involved. I don't hate that. It was a little weird with Austin Theory, not going for the big prize, but Roman was the bigger fish.
I'm also waiting to see the day that that the Money in the Bank briefcase is also used to cash in on the NXT title.
I feel like they would
for me, like I don't.
Go ahead. Oh, go ahead.
Storyline wise, if you're a competitor and you're somebody who wants like your dreams to main event WrestleMania, like if you won the Money in the briefcase, even if you didn't think you could win, why wouldn't you want to use it? If you're not going to cash it in on the world champion, why wouldn't you use it to go main event WrestleMania and in kayfabe get the big payday? So I don't like them personally using it on secondary titles because I just feel as a strategic thing. Why wouldn't you, if you don't think you can cash in, like you don't think you can beat the champion, why wouldn't you at least use it to go main event WrestleMania and get a big payday?
True. The other thing, like, it bothers me with them making the rule that you can use it on a mid-card title here with Money in the Bank. Makes me wonder, please tell me they're not going to planning to turn around and do the same rule change with the Royal Rumble.
I would hope not.
But anyways, do we have anything else to cover?
No, I'm just real quick. What was your guys' favorite Money in the Bank cash-in moment? Just real quick.
Seth Rollins, WrestleMania 31. I was there.
Oh, well, so there it is. That's an easy one.
Yeah.
Oh, me next? Okay.
Oh, yeah. I'm just curious.
Honestly, I like when it's pre-announced, so I'm going to I think the whole being able to come out when your opponent's down and out is for the most part, stupid. If I was picking one of those, I would have to say Edge on The Undertaker after the Batista Last Man Standing match. But to be fair, to me, the best cash-in was the only one that was pre-announced.
Rob Van Dam?
Yep. Well, dang, you guys were going to take both of mine.
And I honestly, I like what you said though. My favorite person to have the briefcase ever was Edge. I like what Edge did. Edge was just like ultimate opportunist with the briefcase. I loved Edge. I loved Hill Edge with the Money in the Bank briefcases.
Yeah, he innovated it. Seth Rollins was very memorable for me just because I was like, I felt like he saved the
and
main
nobody
event.
wanted Brock or Roman to win.
Yeah,
so it was
he
like
saved
the
the
ultimate,
main event.
hell yes.
It was the right
Absolutely.
time for him, and he was created as a main eventer truly there. Though I do like the Rob Van Dam idea, and I like the fact that he made John Cena walk into his arena among his hostile crowd, and that match actually made me respect John Cena more than anything because, I mean, man, he just kind of sucked it up and did, the right thing there. And he went into a crowd that nobody was liking that dude. So that probably is one of my favorite Money Bank cash-ins, even though it was pre-announced. But
yes. And I knew you were going to mention that at some point because that's the same exact thing you said at WrestleMania.
yeah.
Though I will say the loudest cash-in pop, surprisingly, I'd have to say goes to Dolph Ziggler.
Yeah, he was electric. And then, unfortunately, I think he made John Cena mad. I think that's what happened to that man. But there was another, opportunity that he did cash in. It was a fun one.
Oh, yeah. The biggest pop I can think of is, and still champion, Alberto Del Rio. And then with the fans booing, boo. And then as soon as you hear, I'm here to show the world, that freaking roof blew off that place.
Yeah. Cool. Thank you. I was curious because I wanted to pick your guys' brains on it. So,
but all right, we have one more match to discuss. And the one that we are pretty much in agreement. Well, you two are in agreement is going to be the main event. I think it's going to be semi-main because it is a gimmick match titled PLE. So usually the gimmick match is one of the gimmick matches is the main event, but we'll see. The Bloodline Civil War, Romans and Solo versus the Usos. And Brian, you kind of took the double dose of going first. So who's first this time?
I think last time I picked Carlos, so I'll pick you this time, Geoffrey.
Shit. All right, fine. Well, I will say it's Roman Reigns, Solo Sikoa versus Jimmy Uso, yes, but also Roman versus Jey Uso on opposite sides of the ring. Can I get some credit where it's due? Because y'all have been looking at me like I was psychotic since I made the initial prediction at Rumble.
No, I 100%.
But didn't you pick Jey Uso? Didn't you pick Jey Uso was going to win the Royal Rumble?
I had him as I think I might have, but I did say ultimately I don't care whether it's now or if it's Cody, fine. But the man that beats Roman for the belt ultimately will be Jey Uso. That was the big thing.
You took a different route, but you still got to the same place, and I give you a lot of credit for that. And it's weird because ever since you made that prediction and I was just like, okay, I am not going to downplay any of his tinfoil hat theories, no matter how crazy they are. So you could tell me right now that Doink the Clown would win Money in the Bank, and I would probably give it a legitimate thought. So just saying.
But
anything can happen in WWE.
Since you did pick me to go first, I'm going to say the Bloodline breakup. Well, honestly, the whole Bloodline ever since Sami Zayn got inserted in the picture with the whole storyline of him gaining acceptance, getting kicked out, trying to tell the Usos look, dude, this is the way he is. You don't see it because you're too close, but this is the way he is. Then the whole Roman downing Jimmy and Jay, threatening Jimmy and Jay, pushing them around, and Jimmy finally snapping. The whole Jay pulling the whole Jay. Jimmy's the only one that was against you being named right-hand man. Oh, yeah? Is that true? Yeah, it's true. Well, you're out. I'm out too. And Jay kicking Roman in the face. Oh, my God. The Bloodline storyline has been the most compelling thing in WWE. And probably, I'd say, arguably back to Batista with the thumbs up, thumbs down moment. That said, my prediction for the Bloodline Civil War, the Usos will win, and Roman Reigns will eat his first pin since December 19th of 2019. And the man who will be laying on top of him for that pin will be main event Jey Uso to build towards WrestleMania, maybe SummerSlam, more likely, where Roman finally loses the belt to Jey Uso. I'm done. So either respond or move on to Carlos.
So Carlos, are you up?
Sure, I'll go. So clockwise, I'm in agreement with you. Even on our podcast, I said this too. I definitely see. I see the Usos winning this match too, and I definitely see Jey Uso getting the win, pinning Roman, so to set up the match for SummerSlam. I do not think Jey Uso is going to be the guy to dethrone Roman, but at the same time, if he does, I'm not going to be mad at it, because I think that I think Jey Uso's character work and what he's done to get himself over, and just seeing how much he's progressed from 2 years ago to now, I do feel like that character work deserves to be rewarded. So if Jey Uso won, I would see Roman winning the title back off him quickly, and I do still think it's going to be Cody and Roman at WrestleMania. But again, I'm not going to be mad either way. But my heart tells me that Jey Uso will fight Roman at SummerSlam. I see Roman keeping the belt. I don't know. I'm gonna until I see it differently. I don't think they paid Cody all that money to come back. I think if Cody doesn't win the title, I think fans will turn on WWE because, again, finish the story. And again, what happened to WrestleMania 39? I think Cody has to be the one to defeat Roman. And like our friend, we have a friend, Ted Hillbilly Hill, and he has the Hill Truth podcast. And he was talking about this, and about champions and stuff like that. And he's like, said the same thing about, is main event Jey Uso, is he a good champion? Yes. Is he a good worker? Yes. But where's his money at? His money is him and his brother as a tag team. So he's not ever going to be the guy, but it doesn't mean that he wouldn't be a transitional champion, but he's not ever going to be the guy. And with that and I agree with him there. And so with that said, I think that it is going to be Jey and Roman at SummerSlam, but I don't think he wins the belt.
All right. For mine, I definitely, for the record, am picking the Usos to win this match. So let's get that out of the way so we can write it down. Where I go back and forth, and it seems like what we're really talking about too, is who's going to take the pin. And, I'm very intrigued by the idea of Roman taking his first pin. It is safe. There's no title on the line. So it doesn't mess with the record books that they want to update. And it's intriguing to me. Also, I can see it going the other route, and I could see it being Solo taking the pin, which causes Roman and Solo to have a little bit of a dissension, and maybe Solo can join his brothers, and maybe Roman is forced to do a reboot or a 2.0 of the bloodline, right? And bring up some newer Samoans into the picture. So we're at a fork in the road again, like we are with many things in this storyline. And this storyline, it's done this to me a lot of times where I've been very, having a hard time picking a direction because I'm like, man, this could go either way. And I love that because that's what WWE and wrestling used to be for me. And this is one of the first storylines that has, done that in a long time, as Geoffrey mentioned. So if I'm going to go on the limb here, flip a coin, but I know in our show the other day, I believe it was Solo to eat the pin. My gut tells me I think I might still stick with Solo, but man, it's a tough choice. And but there does also have to be a reason for Roman to set up a match with Jey, because I do think that will happen. But also I could see something coming along for Survivor Series with a War Games aspect to it, where there's the newer version of this bloodline for Roman versus the original brother Uso, the Uso Penitentiary War Games, if you will. So that's kind of my overall. Carlos, any thoughts? I think Geoffrey stepped off for a minute.
Again, I want to just say kudos to them again, because for me, like the fact that I, again, like if I'm being honest, like the fact that before I wanted to see Cody and Roman at SummerSlam, I wanted Cody to win Money in the Bank. This was the direction I wanted to see, and that was it. So the fact that, like, again, they got me waiting till WrestleMania to accept that outcome, I think is kudos to them. And again, that's the feather in cap that they could give Jey Uso, the fact that he could be the first guy to pin Roman, since he became the tribal chief. But at the end, he doesn't get the job done. I think there's a lot that could be done with the Uso story, the Bloodline storyline. It doesn't need to revolve around the title. So again, for me, I'm intrigued by this. They got me excited. And again, it's like they could go in so many different directions. And I think that when you do have that, that's when you have a good storyline. But again, I think kudos to them, because this all kind of fell into their lap with what Sammy did for them. And again, that's another part of this too. You got Sammy, you still got the Sammy and Jay thing too. So there's so many different layers to the storyline. But again, the color me intrigued. I think they're doing a good job with it, and I'm intrigued to see where it goes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So before I had a little bit of technical difficulty and had to cut out for a minute. So if you're calling the Usos to win, but Solo to eat the pin.
I did. And then also I kind of hinted at the idea that I could see Roman, Solo joining the Usos a little more in storyline, and Roman maybe rebuilding the bloodline with some newer Samoan blood, which could be a War Games type match at Survivor Series. And that's kind of how we keep this thing going a little longer.
Unless they bring back Samoa Joe, who else is there? I mean,
there's
do we really see them? They got Tama Tonga and Tongaloa.
There's so many.
They got which Fatu is it? Didn't they sign a couple? Actually, I remember seeing. I can't remember the names right now, but they've got. I mean, there's so many guys they could pluck from, and again, I think it's maybe a building.
They got Jacob Fatu from
Jacob.
From,
yes, thank you.
From MLW.
MLW. Yep. Yeah, that's who I was thinking of. I was like, Fatu, Jacob. So yeah, Jacob would be one of them that could be in there. I mean, we could kind of look a little deeper in the dynasty. There's guys that, we're probably not even as honed in on. But I do see that, we could potentially build to something really cool. And I would call the War Games match an Uso Penitentiary match or something cool like that,
Well, if Roman does look to rebuild the bloodline, I can think of one person who might be overlooked to make a return. One half of the greatest tag team champions of all time, Deuce.
Oh, geez. See, I was thinking you were going with the Rock and Sock connection there.
Oh, no.
Who?
I had to throw a swerve. Sim Snuka.
Yeah, I haven't even heard that name in years.
You do remember, Carlos, you do remember like 08, 09, maybe it was 07? The tag team Deuce and Domino, they were playing 50s greasers.
Yeah.
He was also in Legacy for about a week or two.
So yeah, Deuce and Domino.
Yep.
After they split and and Randy Orton was building the Legacy faction, actually came out and revealed that his real name was Sim Snuka, Jimmy's son. So,
wow.
So Tamina's brother.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, that's I haven't heard him in a while. I would imagine he's still around, at least for one match, right? To come back and do a Survivor Series style. I would
go get the guy. For me, I would go get the guys from New Japan Pro Wrestling, Tonga Lao, and they're those guys are like built in shape.
Tonga and Tongaloa,
like, yeah. Oh, that would be ideal. I don't know. Are they playing in the same sandbox? Because I know AEW and New Japan have got their.
Yeah,
well, I think they're not signing the contracts because they're still there, because they're I think they're those guys that they kind of got hurt by the hiring freeze, because they were supposed to supposedly come in and they didn't bring them in because they had the hiring freeze. Oh
yeah, it definitely makes sense. Yeah, if their availability is there, I would snatch them up in a heartbeat.
New Japan, you were right, because I said steal them from AEW because I was thinking the fact that the Bucks, the Elite, all that shit went to AEW. I was thinking all of Bullet Club followed them, but no, they probably are still over. No, it makes sense that they're still in Japan then.
Yeah, and then they're not part of Bullet Club anymore either. So,
the Tongan connection's out.
Yeah, they got booted out. They're faces now.
Okay.
See, Carlos, he's a lot closer to Japan over there in Cali, so he keeps up with all the ins and outs there. Me, I'm like desperately searching for YouTube clips to try to find out what's up.
No, you're about 2 hours away from me. So
Yeah.
that being said, sometime during the weekend, the week after Christmas, Brian, you and I are going to have to meet in person and have a drink.
I know. I would love to make it to Philly for Mania. I would love to do that somehow.
Oh, no, I'm going out there the week after Christmas for the December 28th Jets-Browns game.
Oh, yes. Yes. Yeah.
So at some point while I'm in town, we need to meet up for a drink.
Yeah, I'll have to make a drive up to Cleveland. That'd be easy enough. Definitely. Keep me posted.
But anyways, guys, looking at this, since I already actually have it filled out for tonight.
Yeah.
So there can only be two possible scenarios at the end of this match card for Money in the Bank. Because Bryan and Carlos, your card predictions,
I feel like we were the same.
You were the same all the way through. The only one
all the way.
Oh wow.
Okay.
Yep. You guys went 7 for 7, Matt. Agreeing.
See, that's Carlos' strategy to not let me win again. I know what he's doing.
The only one that was different was with that. I agreed with you on 4 of them, but 3 of them I took a different direction because your cards are the same, but the only ones that changed that are different were the women's tag match. I took Liv and Raquel. Women's Money in the Bank match. I took Zelina. You guys both took Io. And the men's Money in the Bank match. You guys both took Logan Paul, who because of him being the late edition and the fact that they can capitalize on it with his celebrity.
Yeah.
Which actually his celebrity is why I rolled him out.
Yeah.
But otherwise, other than that, the rest of it, we're all either going to be right or wrong because 4 of them we got the same.
It's going to be interesting to see how it plays out.
I think Brian's going to be the leader. I think Brian's going to be the leader after our polls because we're going to win every match.
So.
You remember this? Logan Paul's lost to Roman and Seth in his last 2 matches. You can't keep having the guy take L's either.
Oh, I know, but this is also, but you can't really count a multi-man match like this where there's no pinfalls, no submissions, where it's a gimmick win. You can't really count that as a loss, even if he doesn't win.
Yeah, okay. It's weird because it's true though, because like I don't think of the last 6, 7 people that lost that match. I don't think of that, like, oh, they didn't win, and even Royal Rumble, of course, nobody counts every person that didn't win. So yeah, it's a valid. It'll be interesting to see. Again, that main media exposure with the WWE right now wanting their brand so in the faces of everybody because of the merger. They want stock prices, and maybe I'm looking too much into the business. Stock pricing and stuff like that, which I will admit sometimes does affect my decision making on these things.
Are you keeping your stock, Brian, or are you going to sell it?
What's that?
Your WWE stock.
I'm holding on to it.
Are you going to convert it over to the new one?
Yeah, I will. It's going to end up being, I think, like a split, so we'll get a little extra for doing that.
All right. Well, I will say that. Just like with Royal Rumble and with Mania, sitting here having this discussion with you boys and having you on here to talk wrestling has definitely increased my excitement for Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
Like, we'll be doing this in less than another month, right? Because SummerSlam's only like a month away, right?
Oh, Jesus Christ, you're right.
It really is.
Yeah. So, like I said, the new host of Mooncutter Sportscast, Brian Ballard.
Quit trying to steal it away from us.
But either way, guys, like I cannot wait to get home. It'll probably be about midnight Saturday going into Sunday where I finally get to watch this because unfortunately it starts at 3 p.m. Eastern. And guess who clocks in at 3 p.m. Eastern to drive for 8 hours?
Oh, no.
That said, do not Twitter me until after 3 a.m. Monday or Sunday morning.
Oh, you're gonna stay off. You're gonna stay off to avoid spoilers. That's pretty good. That's awesome of you.
I do. Like I don't even play.
Stay off your whole thumb because you can get those Google alerts too on your Google searches and stuff like that, telling you what happened too.
Yeah, that's so true.
Yeah, luckily I don't check that. My phone will be in my pocket the whole night or
Oh, there
whatever.
you go. Nice.
And if I scroll down, all those notifications will be locked in one box that I can just swipe right to ignore.
Oh, nice. Nice.
Well, again, thank you for having us on. And like I said, you hit it all on that last point. I mean, this builds excitement for me. And, it was a pay-per-view. I was like, all right, let's do this. And, was a little predictable at first, but, as we talk, I'm just like, ooh, I could see all these scenarios playing out. And now that creates excitement. And that's why I love doing stuff like this. So thank you again.
Because you have your mindset, and as Carlos gives his, I give mine. You see where we're thinking with the way we would book it, and you're like, good ideas. And now you're like, this could go so many different directions. What way are they going to go?
Yeah.
But anyways, guys, as always, it's been awesome having you on. Hopefully one of these days when you do your recap episodes from a pay-per-view, I'm actually free. Otherwise, you want to give a shout out where they can follow you?
So yeah, I'm at C2LOS77 on Twitter. Also Conquer the No. And then my Instagram is Rainbow Goodness _. And then our podcast is F Fan Incite on Twitter as well.
WF Incite at WF Incite.
INCITE.
Yes. Bryan?
Yeah, it's at the Bryan Adkins. Obviously, I'm part of the team over at Wrestling Fans, fansofprowrestling.com. Tap Out Talk. And then also just a real shout out, Dante, missed you tonight, man, but, look forward to connecting up with you again on the show here. And shout out to all the tag teammates, John and Heather and Will. And, well, Carlos is here, so But thank you, guys.
So he's here, so he doesn't get a shout out.
Yeah, he didn't get a shout out. He's here. He was in the main event.
Anyways, guys,
it's time.
Those of you that have been following me know you can follow me at TJE Joker on Twitter. You can also follow the show at Mooncutters. Those of you that are new fans, I don't know whether you're coming through with one of Bryan or Carlos's links, thank you for tuning in. That said, you can follow us at Running Force Productions, which let me get that as an overlay here or a banner overlay for you guys so you can see how it's spelled. You can follow us at Running Force Productions, all one word for Running Force. We on Facebook, Twitter, Facebook, Twitch, YouTube. YouTube's the big one. Make sure you like, subscribe, and allow notifications there, because that is one of the two easiest ways to help me grow to the point where I, can give you guys the best, focus more time on sports to give you guys the best fans, the best product possible. And to those of you hearing this on Spotify, please subscribe to us, and keep listening. Otherwise, this is Geoffrey being joined by special guests Carlos and Bryan from Wrestling Fans Incite podcast. Signing off. 1 second. Signing off.
Take two.